Hello everyone, I'm Neely Jones, your host of Focus on Suppliers. This week, we take a look at the baby category. Hear what our friends at Kimberly Clark have to say about what's impacting the baby category, the 5 megatrends. And Infantino speaks about partnering with Walmart on special displays and the results that they've seen for the baby category as a whole. Plus, you'll discover how making products in the USA has become a family tradition for the Nook Company and what you can learn from their example. Focus on Suppliers starts now.
Focus on Suppliers is presented by 8th & Walton, the premier destination for supplier development, and sponsored in part by Dun & Bradstreet, Saatchi & Saatchi X, Case Stack, Excel Displays and Packaging, and other outstanding companies.
Your millennial fun fact is of the American moms, 90% of them are millennials. She's about 26 years old, and she absolutely sees parenting as the most important part of her life. She's emotionally connected not only to raising her child, but also how she's contributing back to a society as part of being a parent. But she sees it as a team sport, so her and the father are absolutely linked in not only their parenting, but also in their purchase decisions for their baby. It's important that we motivate both mom and dad and really connect with them when they're in the retail environment or online. We've got to facilitate that purchase by giving them easy pickup options or in-store choices that are going to get them to their purchases faster. She loves being a mom and considers herself educated, so being more authentic with your brand voice is also important. And we'll see you next week for the next Millennial Minute.
When we talk about technology, we wanted to introduce you to a special guest, Drew Phillips, who joins us from Kimberly Clark, and you're actually VP of Customer for Kimberly Clark. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Before we really dive into the technology part, I think it's important to touch on some of the 3 trends that you've seen, megatrends, and that will help us elaborate on the technology piece of it.
So I think the first biggest megatrend that we're seeing within the baby category is family of today. And that's really about how households are becoming more demographically diverse, have multi-generational families, and then also how dads are becoming a bigger influx within the category. So I think the opportunity from an omni-channel perspective and how you would link into that is really look at Walmart.com to carry all the breadth of assortment and products that the families are looking for. The second one is digitally enabled lives. So families are looking for enhanced content, consumer reviews, a lot of different product knowledge and retailer knowledge as part of Walmart.com in her omni-channel shopping experience. So when we look into the insights, 53% of moms are looking for information online before they go into store and buy their products. And so I think from a conversion perspective, when she's searching for that information, it's her easiest opportunity to buy that product right away on Walmart.com as she's searching for information. So I think for the supplier community, it's how do you make that experience easy for her to convert as she's looking for information and buy directly on Walmart.com. The last one is value redefined. And how I would talk about that and think about that is from a convenience perspective. And so when moms go into store and they're looking for a product, they really want it to be an easy experience and they want to be in stock. And if if Walmart's not in stock, we find in some of our key categories that 50% of them will leave the store and go to another retailer. The great opportunity with Walmart.com and how you see a lot of different retailers looking to have subscription services and loyalty services is how do you make sure that you're always in stock and fulfilling that demand as easy as possible to make it an easy shopping experience for mom. And so what we think full potential is there is, in the U.S. right now, baby category sales are only in the high single digits. But when you look in Asia, some of those countries are up to 75 to 80% of their sales occurring online. And so we think that we're going to get there very quickly, and that category is going to change quite a bit. So the 2 key takeaways I would have for the suppliers to think about is, number one, make sure that all of your items are set up on Walmart.com, that you have enhanced content available, and that you're working to customize that content to make Walmart.com a great shopping experience for mom. And the second one is, how do you partner as part of your JBPs to really drive online grocery sales? And so as that format becomes more and more prevalent at Walmart, as you as a supplier go through that experience, go through the experiences a mom, a dad, or a family will go through, and provide recommendations about how that experience could be better as part of your JBPs and how you can look to test and learn and drive that business more with Walmart going forward.
Because if you go through the experience, you'll see what they're going to go through.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about enhanced content, just a few suggestions for that.
Yeah, I think it's, number one, videos, having images of all the different, attributes of a product, and then really millennials are looking for the user-generated content and sharing ratings and reviews and what they found, great and opportunities about the products. And so those would be some of the key things you'd want to include on Walmart.com.
Because at this point, if you don't have them, then you'll kind of look antiquated. Is that a good?
Exactly, and it'll definitely impact your conversion.
Any other piece of advice you would give our viewers?
Like I said before, omni-channel, digitally influenced purchases are going to continue to grow rapidly over the next few years. So just make sure, as we have our traditional brick and mortar teams, that you're planning a holistic omni-channel plan with your merchants and your teams.
Okay. Thank you so much, Drew. Good information today.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back. Be sure to like 8th and Walton on Facebook.
We'd like to welcome Brian Hutchinson, Vice President of Shopper Marketing with Excel Displays and Packaging. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Andy. Glad to be here.
Brian, I keep hearing about millennials. Millennials this, millennials that. So is there one category in Walmart that is affected more by this generation?
Yeah, the first one that comes to mind would be the baby department. In fact, 97% of new mothers are millennial moms.
Sure.
And we know that that generation is known as the connected generation, and technology has kind of always been a part of her life.
And how does technology play a role in all that?
Well, she's always connected to her friends, and so she's using websites and blogs and social media, even her phone, ultimately to do research on what products are the best ones for her baby.
So what recommendations would you have for suppliers in the baby department?
So continue the omni-channel experience for her. So keep communicating to her via the website and microsite and mobile devices and things like that. The blogs, she really relies on that. Keep that going.
Okay.
There's an opportunity in store to keep that conversation going when she's doing the deselection of what product ultimately she's going to suggest or purchase. Getting the information of peer reviews or even customer or industry awards that product has been given is going to give her a whole lot of security and confidence to know that that's the right product for her and her baby. Ultimately, it comes down to trust. And the packaging by itself isn't going to do it these days.
Sure.
She is not going to rely on product description and claims by themselves. She's going to want to hear from her friends, other mothers who have tried these different products, and that's going to give her the confidence.
Well, Brian, it's important to have both packaging and displays in store, and it sounds like you guys have some great solutions for that.
We do.
Brian, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Joining us today to talk about the baby category, our guest is Bill Norman from Graco. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I just want to dive right in and really take a look at e-commerce and how it has affected the way you guys do things.
Absolutely. So for the last several years at Graco, we've seen a significant shift in online sales from the brick and mortar, from the stores side. So the first time expectant mom is really headed out to the online marketplace far more than they were stores several years ago.
And you can really see that too when you're looking at the way people use mobile today. You have to be prepared to reach them in all different venues, correct?
Correct. All different formats and forms, especially when we're presenting online. Everything has to be sharp and crisp and clean so they can fit on the mobile device, as well as that really limited space you have online. You need to make sure that you fit the billboard of selling space.
So when you're launching or marketing something new, do you do things a little bit differently?
Oh, absolutely. When you're in stores, for example, or on the box, or actually the actual sales box, you can call out as many product attributes as you want. But when you're online, you have to be really clean and sharp and get to the point as quickly as possible.
So what special opportunities do you really get to take advantage of when it comes to connecting with moms through the omni-channel?
So we have the video content, and that's especially important in baby, where we have a mother who's maybe not demoed a product in store live and she wants to see it, and in the absence of touching it and feeling the product, which is so important when you're talking about the safety of your baby, what moms do is they watch our videos. And so we'll put a 60-second video or a demo and really give them the sense for what the product's capable of doing.
And then do you get some feedback to that helps you reevaluate if you need to do things differently?
Absolutely. So when we sell a product, our reviews and product reviews are absolutely critical to the item's success and our success, frankly.
We've seen Walmart do a lot of things to really elevate this baby category. I mean, everything from wood floors, you name it, to really take it to a new level. How has that affected you? It's
affected us in several ways. So first of all, we applaud Walmart's efforts in that venture, because their baby team has done a fantastic job of re-engineering those stores and redesigning the stores. Historically, we've received feedback that the store aisle wasn't as clean as in terms of being able to walk and really understand what you were looking at and navigating the aisle. And from a perception standpoint, from the consumers early on and how they're voting with their sales, we're doing a fantastic job with our sales increases in those stores.
So it's only helping you in your partnership in moving forward.
Correct. It absolutely is.
I would assume some of that feedback, too, included the practicality of moms if they had strollers and were trying to get around.
Yeah, absolutely. So the stroller parking lot is probably the number one thing that we appreciate about the reinvention of the aisle. Moms can actually use the stroller, take it out, touch it, put baby in it, and roll it around the aisle just before they make that purchase.
Is there anything else you would share about when it comes to online content, making sure how powerful it is? Because you've really got to grab their attention.
Yeah, so as far as online content goes, we just need to continue to make sure that they understand what they're getting, and they need to understand relative to the rest of the market what is actually going to be included in that purchase, because value in today's world is so important that mom needs to understand that she's getting everything that she can that goes along with that product. So I guess, for example, grow with me platforms are really important today. So where a mom may purchase a car seat that starts at infancy, they now go up to 120 pounds with one of our car seats, and so that's the only car seat she'll need to buy. So instead of having to buy multiple car seats over multiple stages of life, of the child's life, it actually can be done with one purchase.
So fair to say you really get into the consumer or mom's mind.
Correct. Absolutely. So we look for rich insights from mom. We have forums where we speak to the first-time expectant mothers and what they think they would look for. We also speak to the reoccurring mom, or the mom who has more than one child who comes back and shops the aisle again. And so it's really important for us in our sales strategy to make sure that we're working with moms on the front side as well as after their first baby to understand what they've learned and then how we can bring that back into the product life cycle and improve our products.
Good information, Bill. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back. As we talk about the baby category, we also want to take a look at how Walmart has been working to make it basically more shopper friendly. That brings me to our next guest, Lee Clemens, who's here from Infantino. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you for the invitation. We appreciate being here.
I really want to take a look at some of the things that Infantino has done when it comes to working with Walmart and maybe making some adjustments.
Yes. When Walmart has key initiatives, we worked with Walmart in the past. They had the good, better, best initiative. And what we were asked to do, and we definitely supported Walmart in that initiative, is to make that clear communication on our packaging. They were communicating it on the shelf. We communicated on our packaging so all would align. So we did that. More recently, Neely, what we've done is Walmart has carrier display in the infant category. And this carrier display features carriers that mom wears for baby, and on that display we have 2 of our items are featured. I'll tell you, we are really pleased with the success of this carrier display in select Walmart stores in the U.S. We've seen our sales year over year meaningful double-digit increases, and even more than sales is concerned, we know with this carrier display we're able to clearly communicate to mom and dad how to wear product, how to care for product, the safety and the feature benefits. We do it on our packaging as well, but the carrier display allows us to really communicate it in a better way.
And really drive it home.
Exactly.
One of the things that you have said is important for Infantino is to really work with mom and dad to really develop that trust. What are some ways that you do that?
Our marketing team is based in San Diego, and our product development team is based in Chicago, and it's made up of moms. And so, first of all, we have moms developing product. Mm-hmm. And then also, through qualitative research and so forth, we touch base with mom share groups. We also reach out to test and tell groups. And in those groups, we communicate directly with mom, and mom tells us what she likes. I mean, we've designed a product, and she can tell us in these groups that, yeah, we like this about it, we don't like this about it. And and we give that that's a fair assessment of the product. And so now when we sit down with Walmart buyers and talk about products and so forth, we can tell the Walmart buyer, this is what Mom thought about it. So the Walmart buyer trusts because we've done our homework through the test. And at the end, the Walmart consumer can trust that when they see an Infantino product on shelf, it's gone through those rigors of testing and so forth.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. You can see all episodes and extended interviews at Vimeo.
We all need a hug in the morning and one at the end of the day, and as many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. It's my belief, for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all.
America's biggest health fair is Saturday, October 15th. Suppliers, find out how you can partner with Walmart to transform preventative health care. For more information, email iracema.roldan@walmart.com.
Beauterre Office Park is conveniently located off I-49 and near Walmart's facilities. Our beautiful campus is Northwest Arkansas's largest office park. Let us build to suit your needs. Rates start at $14.50 per square foot. Visit Beauterre.com today.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
Meet Opal, the only self-driving drop, ship, and order fulfillment software solution, directly connected to retailers and e-tailers. The no-touch smart system. Manage drop shipments effortlessly. 100% EDI compliant with no EDI cost.
Some diapers are designed to swaddle your baby, and others are designed to give your baby all the freedom to move. When they're ready, unswaddle them and set them free with Huggies Little Movers diapers. Now with the new moving baby system for outstanding grip, fit, and wetness protection, which absorbs on contact, so they get the most out of every little move. Set your baby free with Huggies Little Movers diapers.
We know that today's moms will many times turn to other moms for product recommendations when it comes to what to use or what's most popular, what's best. That brings us to our next guest from Northwest Arkansas Motherlode. Please help me welcome the creators and founders, Gwen Rockwood and Shannon Maxim. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
We are so excited to talk to you. I want to touch on, why are women, or moms in particular, so trusting when it comes to parenting and people they don't even know?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the reasons, because they feel like they do know other moms. Right. Moms really do understand each other, and everybody knows that something like word of mouth is important, but word of mom is really like word of mouth on steroids. Right. When moms find something that we love, we tell our friends about it. And more of those kinds of conversations between moms are happening online.
Because you're in it together. Is it fair to say it that way?
That's exactly right. We're right there with them, and a blogger is just another mom, and we're just picking up on conversations and talking about things that moms are talking about, and we are right there and feeling those same emotions. And I think just a blogger, they're just putting that feeling into words,
into a place where it's easily accessible.
Right. That's right.
What is the number one way a brand can win trust with moms?
Well, it starts, of course, with a great product that's consistent and really delivers on what the brand says it will deliver. And brands should remember that moms love information. The more detail that you can give us, the better. And we really want to know how that product is going to help us in day-to-day life.
Right. Yeah, and that's why it's so important for that detailed information to be online, because women and moms research. We do our homework, we go online before we buy. So it's really important for suppliers and companies to have have that info out there.
Make it available at your fingertips
Definitely.
through the omni-channel, through every way.
That's right.
What are the biggest challenges for new moms, though, when it comes to getting to a store, getting to buy something, or just picking the right product?
Right. Well, probably the biggest challenge, particularly for new moms, is just a lack of time. You know, raising a human being is one of the most time-intensive jobs you will ever do.
You might say that, Gwen.
It really is. I've been there 3 times, so I remember it well. Yeah. And we learn really quickly to just fit things in whenever we can.
Exactly.
So, you know, for example, if you're, you know, rocking your fussy baby and you've been doing that for 30 minutes, she finally, thank you God, falls asleep on your shoulder, you're not going to risk moving an inch and waking that baby up. But what you can do is just slowly grab your, you know, smartphone and maybe check your email or look something up online. So moms love it when companies make their information easily accessible on our smartphones, because we're with those things all the time. And if, you know, that they could do that through a blog post, they could do it through a banner ad or a digital coupon. And when we go out, if we accidentally left a paper coupon at home, we're probably not going to turn around and get it. But if I left my smartphone at home, trust me, I'm turning the car around.
Definitely.
So
it's happened to all of us.
Exactly. Make their marketing mobile, just like moms are mobile.
Well, and when you speak to that, then how do you bring dads into the equation? How do you do that?
That's a great question. We know that we couldn't do what we do if our husbands weren't there to share the workload.
Definitely.
So one of the things we're doing on the website is we are kind of shining a spotlight on dads. We have this new feature that's called Go Ask Dad, and it's just a fun profile of men who live right here in Northwest Arkansas.
We also have Inside His Head, which gives a male perspective. You know, I think women, you know, we kind of think, well, we kind of know what this is all about. We don't really need sometimes. Okay, give me your opinion, but you know, this feature kind of comes from the male perspective, and it allows them. A dad's, you know, opinion is just as important as a mom's opinion, and we want to get that out there, you know.
And we're seeing more dads doing hands-on parenting and things like
Absolutely.
that. So really, it's all about making the information accessible and mobile.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so
both.
important.
Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back. As we focus on the baby category, we thought whom better to have back on our show than our friends from Nook, and that means Tina Wenham. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
I really want to celebrate with you the recent recognition from Walmart. You were recently recognized. Yes. Tell our viewers about that.
Yes, so at the U.S. Supplier Summit, we had our video showcase, and our video is a production from Walmart where they actually visited our U.S. plant in Wisconsin and showcased and highlighted the American worker and the work that we're doing to bring mom's quality, valued product.
And to keep that made in the USA here. You guys make several products here.
Yes, cups, pacifiers, as well as some tableware items such as utensils. A lot of our products are either made or assembled here in the U.S.
Which is fantastic. Let's look at the benefits that you see from that, because there are a lot.
Yes. So some of the benefits are, I mean, if you think about it from mom's perspective, she's getting a product that she can trust, and she believes that the quality is there because it was made and manufactured here in the U.S. If you think about it from a retailer perspective, there's a lot of advantages from being able to go to market faster, being able to manage the supply chain much more efficiently because you're making products that are here in the U.S. as opposed to making products overseas, and then you have to spend the money in the freight basically to get it back, as well as other things that are needed if you're making products overseas.
Well, that brings me to my next point. You say this can actually be cost effective. A lot of people think no, but you say it can be.
It can be. There are several examples where you can achieve the same costing structure here in the U.S. that you can overseas. You just have to put in a little bit of time and be willing to work with the right partners to find those raw materials where you can achieve that cost, but it absolutely is possible, and we've been able to do that.
You show loyalty not only internally but externally, because you show a father who says he works for you in Wisconsin, and he says the first gift I gave to my baby I made.
Yes, which was so sweet, even for us that work at Nook, to be able to see that, because not a lot of us outside of the manufacturing location actually knew that. And then that daughter that he was speaking of actually is one of our colleagues that works at that facility today.
So it just shows how important the Made in the USA can be. Certainly a story of success. Tina, thank you so much for sharing with us, and congratulations to you guys once again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. Visit us at 8thandwalton.com to learn how you can become a better partner with Walmart.
What time is it? Time to walk to defeat ALS. Join us Saturday, August 27th at the Compton Gardens. Register your team at als-arkansas.org or call 479-621-8700.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
You pooped? Where?
Potty training is hard. Don't make it confusing by switching between diapers and training pants. Once you take your kid out of diapers, keep them out and put them in pull-ups training pants. The pant designed for potty training. When they slide on their first pull-ups, it's a symbol, a promise that you're in it together. And we've got your back with a customized potty training plan. So put on pull-ups and start a whole new way to train, together.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
Meet Opal, the only self-driving drop ship and order fulfillment software solution, directly connected to retailers and e-tailers. The no-touch smart system. Manage drop shipments effortlessly. 100% EDI compliant with no EDI cost.
You just had your buyer meeting. Now there's follow-up to do. Maybe your buyer wants more on seasonal sales or invited you to prepare a joint business plan or set up a date for your line review. 8th & Walton can help. Our experts work with you one-on-one in a confidential setting to prepare for your next buyer meeting. The classes we offer help you too. Retail Link, Supply Chain Management, Inventory Management, taught in cities across the country, in Canada, and in Latin America. So before your next buyer meeting, contact 8th & Walton. Then relax, knowing that you will be ready. Our guests enjoy staying at the 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinner, meetings, and product launches there.
That does it for this week's show. Here are 3 key takeaways you might want to jot down. Number 1, today's mom is mobile, so remember, make your marketing mobile too. Also, to connect with moms online, you want to offer them enhanced content. We're talking about videos, images, all the information that they might need, real-life tips. And manufacturing in the USA can actually lead to saving you money, but it can also lead, well, better logistics for you, your product, and your partnership. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
I walk in every day and I just take a deep breath and I'm like, I can't believe where it's gone, where it's come to. Blood, sweat, and tears, and then some, everything to build the company where it's at. I'm Billy Westbrook, and Scrub Blade is an idea I had. I wondered, why don't wiper blades scrub your windshield? If they're going back and forth, why don't they scrub the windshield while they're doing it? You know, I was making barely any money to survive. I was living on an air mattress at a friend's house, completely stripped down to nothing. It's just me. I was like, I'm going to give this 100% and see what happens with it. And that was in 2006. It's 2014 now, and I've never stopped. In the journey of Scrub Blade, we had a huge opportunity to do a big test with Walmart. And if I would have worked all those 8 years and neglected my business credit, I wouldn't have had the biggest opportunity of our journey. Dun & Bradstreet is a huge partnership for Scrub Blade. They share the knowledge really well, go through your credit rating with you and explain what this means and what that means. We're starting a big test with AutoZone, and I mean, they're the largest automotive retailer in the world. It's going to take our company to the next level and beyond. What drives me, what keeps me going, is my family. Yeah. My job is to take care of my family, and it gives me a lot of pride to know that I can do that. And at the same instance, Dun & Bradstreet is taking care of me, or my entity, Scrub Blade. I mean, it's still a small company, but big in my eyes. We want to have fun with it. We want to bring people in along for the journey. you know, life's a journey, get a clearer view. That's what Scrub Blade's tagline is, and it means everything.